So towards the end of our lecture 4, you would have seen the slides where there is a mention of an outlier. Okay, so from the name itself, as you can understand what is an outlier, it is something that is out of the norm, right? So that's something that is not associated, or that is something that is basically out of the complete data set, right? So this quick video will basically tell you as to how the outliers play a vital role to determine various business decisions. So if I look at the data here, which is the home market value, it shows the age of the house, the square footage of the house, and the market value of that specific house. Okay, so when you look at the data and when you find out the mean, mode, and different statistical parameters of the square footage and market value, you see that there is a specific value uh, up to which the complete distribution exists. But there are a few values which are there, which are outside the norm. So let's determine as to how basically these values come into picture, and how we can, as business analysts, determine and give business decisions based on these. So this is the specific data. So the looking at the square footage and the market value, uh, when we find out the z-score. So as you know, what exactly is a z-score? It's the relative measure of the distance of an observation from the mean value, right? So if we find out the z-scores, that's there in the outliers Excel file. When you find out the z-score for all of these values does not exceed a value of 3, suppose. So because I can see a 2.27 here, yeah, does not say, suppose, exceed a value of 3. This means what? This means that there isn't a lot of variation from the mean value for these specific for each and every observation in the square footage and the market value, right? But when we plot something as a combination of square footage and the market value, you will see that there are a few values that are there outside of the norm. So let's do a quick plot, a scatter plot of the square footage and the market value, and let's see as to what exactly are the outliers. So let's do a scatter plot. Let's make the margins a little bit uh, more better so that we can determine and easily see. Make it 70k. So when you look at this specific scatter plot, you will see that most of the houses are basically within the 2000 square footage range, and the values of them is just below 110k. But still there are a few houses like this house, this house. So these are out of the norm, right? So this house is basically an outlier. So this is something which is above the 2200 range, one house, and the value of the house is also highly priced, right? So this is how a combination of two parameters, even though their z-score values were considerably low, still by looking at the scatter plot we can determine and say that these outlier, there are a few outliers which also play a vital role and give a business decision that there might be that specific house, like this specific house, which has some additional facilities as compared to the other, which is why it is it is different than the norm.